Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you every fucking game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Mikey. That is Tommy. Welcome to the Bills bye week.
Yes, we are here finally, man. We had a late bye this season, but yes, I actually like the late bye weeks. I do. It's not super late. It's kind of in the middle of the season, which is perfect timing for our players to get healthy and get ready for this playoff push, Mikey.
Oh yes, and as spin comes in, there's a lot of strategy to the bye week, and the strategy is get freaking healthy.
All right. The number one strategy, get healthy.
Right? I mean, really, when we look back, because now we're at, our bye week, look back at the start. Do you remember when we just got pummeled by Baltimore? We were like, what is this team going to look like?
Yeah. We were a lot of concerns on the offensive side of things. Pretty much. It was more so on the offense and the wide receiver room. That was really the biggest concern, which is strange if you think about it, because going into the season, our biggest concerns were the total opposite. It was safeties, linebacker, like depth, and, a little bit more on the defensive side of things. And did it shift over to the wide receiver group.
Quickly. It looked good the first couple of weeks, but we ran in Baltimore and we just had a bad game. And then we had the whole, Houston debacle on offense, just couldn't get anything going. And then that led us to make the deal for Amari, which kind of changed everything for us and the team.
It did. Sometimes, I always say, man, sometimes things like that have to happen for a spark to happen and for – just like last year when we talk about what got the Bills to play better down the stretch, it was really getting beat by Denver and firing Ken Dorsey and promoting Joe Brady as OC, and that led us on that 5-game winning streak and into the playoffs. One of the hotter teams in the NFL. So sometimes, you got to have that bad stuff kind of to make things, get things right, to get things right and make some changes. And they weren't drastic. I didn't think anything, we made a trade for Amari Cooper last year. That had to be done with Ken Dorsey. By the way, Ken Dorsey, saw him in the box last night, calling the game for Cleveland.
Yeah. He, in the second half, he was getting roasted by a lot of people because they just he just made some boneheaded decisions. 3rd and 2, and he runs a play action in snow. What are you doing? He got bailed out by Tomlin's boneheaded decision to take the 5 yards, but
you could see some of the play calling, when he was here in Buffalo, it was really throwing but I will say though, but some of the biggest plays came from plays I'm you don't want to throw deep, and if you got that kind of quarterback, Jameis Winston, listen, man, you kind of
He
He
just
doesn't.
doesn't care.
It doesn't care. Like you're like that's bro. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick 2.0. Like that is him. And hey, man. Shout out. By the way, shout out to Cleveland for doing their job, helping us out.
Pittsburgh looked bad. Mike Tomlin made a boneheaded error down the
He
stretch.
did.
He just doesn't. He doesn't do that normally.
Yep.
You know, he's usually one of the more buttoned up coaches.
I'm gonna kick that off screen. We'll talk about that later.
Yep. Roy comes in and says, before the season I ever started, I thought the receivers was the bottom 4 of the league. You did. You know, Roy, in anything negative, Roy probably thought of it. You know,
Roy's
like, that was me.
Yeah, he has this pad of paper. He's like, all right, God damn it. I like this.
and you know, stick to your guns, brother. You know,
now look,
we haven't changed it that much though. We really haven't changed the receiver room that much.
We haven't. We just added a piece that makes the rest of the guys better, or you know, or more useful, I guess. Right? It makes their job easier, I would say. Right? Having a guy like Amari Cooper out there. But here's the deal, man. I don't know if I was like, I don't think I was sold on the wide receiver room going in, but I think I was oversold on the everybody eats, everything's going to be fine because we're going to do this, and this, and we don't really need that guy.
Promised Samuel was going to look like Samuel looked last week.
Well, that too. Yeah, that too. But I'm just saying, like, we kind of got, and I get it because we were thinking of last year, Khalil Shakir, and you know, Diggs wasn't being used as much down the stretch, and we were just fine. And then we won 3 in a row, and I think we were like, yeah, you see it. But we weren't I think it was, like I said, a lot of like, we were just kind of getting a little bit fooled there by the record, by the hot start. But there was problems, right? There was problems in the wide receiver room. I think there
wasn't depth in the wide receiver room.
So I mean, yeah.
Part of the issue was, like, let's just take the Baltimore game, for example. We were missing our starting middle linebacker and our starting outside linebacker, right? So Dorian was still very new, you know, to starting.
Yep.
Dorian's gotten better every week, you know, and we had Balin Spector starting in for Bernard on that game, who had us out of position, you know what I mean, on some of those big runs. So, like, you can look at that, and then you look at, you know, we lost Shakir for a game. You know, and
but I'm just talking about the wide receiver.
But I'm talking wide receiver. When we lost Shakir, that bumped up Hollins to a more, you know. So it was like we kept losing guys, and you know, Samuel wasn't healthy the whole time. Shakir got hurt. You know, we had Hollins and rookie Keon Coleman was really,
but it wasn't sustainable. Like that lineup, that wide receiver room. Once defensive coordinators like they don't put any fear in us. Let's just blitz. Let's play man. Let's blitz. Like, they're not going to get any separation. Let's get pressure on Allen. And it started showing in that Baltimore game that carried over to the Texans game. And that's why we made the move. Ultimately for Amari Cooper, you had to have that guy that defenses respect, or DCs, which is Amari Cooper. Just him being out there changed it all up. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, look at Keon Coleman's numbers with Amari Cooper and without, right? I mean, pretty good, pretty solid.
Yeah, in that Baltimore game, we were missing Tron too. But when we're talking about the wide receivers, you wouldn't think one guy would change the math, but really it has. Because even when we've lost guys, like we lost Keon last game, you know, but Cooper came back. We were without Cooper, but we had the other guys. So, you know,
no Dalton.
Yeah, and no Dalton. So we're always figuring it out. I'm excited to see what this room looks like once we have everybody.
Right, me too. And I think all of Bill's Mafia is excited to see. I mean, like, golly, like, we've been waiting for this forever. Like, I just hope when they get back, they stay back, and we can just have a good playoff push with a healthy team. Because listen, man, if we go into the playoffs healthy and we lose, if we lose, then you know what? At least I'll say, hey, at least there's no like. We had all our guys. We did the best we can. But like you said, it's tough when we go in there and we have like half our team missing. So it's hard to judge like how we would have done if we would have had, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just want to go in there.
Right. It's always that excuse.
Exactly. And I don't want that.
Right.
No Milano. AJ. Like, I just want A fully healthy team. Let's see what we could do with the healthy team that they assembled going into the playoffs, and then we could judge.
Or even
after the
mostly
season
healthy.
ends.
I mean, I love fully healthy, but even if they were just mostly
Well,
healthy,
you know what I mean.
Like-
Let's say key players.
Yeah.
Like, are key players healthy
Like,
going in? I know
yeah.
everyone's not going to be healthy.
Bernard, we missed him in the Chiefs game last year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of guys like that we were just missing. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Key guys.
I'd
Key
like
guys.
to see these guys come back. So we're about to get Milano back, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
real awesome.
we're about to get Smoot back, which is awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'll be interested to see what they do with Dwayne Carter, because with us picking up Q and Jordan, like, there's not room for him now on there. So I'll be interested to see how they play that out.
I wonder if they wind up putting him on some kind of IR for the rest of the season.
Yeah. They open up his window for 3 weeks and then just put him on IR.
You see how Jordan Phillips winds up, playing out while he's, you know what I'm saying?
It'll be interesting. Or do they take Q and Jordan, release them, and have them go to the practice squad?
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe they'll probably play it out to see how they do. Like, how, Phillips does and Q. And if they feel like they're playing it at a high level, they'll probably just wind up keeping them on the roster and then just putting Carter on that, remaining on the IR for the season.
That's right, Spin. That's why we wanted Franklin.
Yep.
We wanted that speed guy outside. Kept calling for him, and they didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Having a true run like Cooper helps others get open. We didn't have that early on. True. It's one of those things. Spin asks, should the Bills pick up Danny Dimes? I don't think they will, because they already have Trubisky and Mike White.
Yeah. They're not.
I think Danny Dimes would be a better backup than Trubisky.
Yes, he would be.
But Josh loves his quarterback room, and they're not going to mess with that.
Well, not only that, you got to remember too, that means Daniel Jones will have to come in, learn the whole play, but like they're not going to go that route. They're not doing that. You know what I mean? Like,
they would put him on. They would have to put him on the.
No, I get it,
which means they would have to release Mike White, and they're not going to do that because Josh already likes his room.
And another guy who's already. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Daniel Jones. We'll see what happens to him, but I think he feels like he should be a starter somewhere in
San Francisco or Minnesota to be the backup, because
Minnesota will probably be
Purdy's
a decent fit for him as backup. Oh no, he's not. He's out.
He's out with the shoulder.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow,
yeah, Purdy's out with the
interesting.
shoulder. Purdy and Bosa both out. Braylon or something Allen. What Allen is it? There's an Allen.
Who's filling in for him?
Give me a second. I'll tell you. Brandon Allen.
Okay.
Yep. Is the backup quarterback there with Josh Dobbs as Josh Dobbs as his backup.
San Francisco's having a lot of bad luck this season with injuries.
It's okay. Let him be hurt this week and next week, and then they can figure out what they want to do. I don't care.
Right. I don't care.
I don't need to see Bosa,
right.
next week. It's okay.
Right.
At the end of the day. Bye Phillips. Phillips played really well last week. I wouldn't want to see him go. Even if we brought him back to the practice squad, I'd be okay.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. I didn't see
Eli
anything
will be released.
bad.
Yeah, I could see that. I think Joe Andreessen goes to the practice squad for Milano. I don't think it's Andreessen, because I think Andreessen is the Mike, and with is the backup Mike, and with Braylon Spector out, he's the next guy up. So I think it's going to be Eddie U who's going to be let go.
EU, who's been a scratch every week.
Danny Dimes can get a comp pick for us. No, he's not getting a comp pick for us. That ain't happening. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to the.
No, I don't think so either.
I think he will start as on a practice squad to learn for the first few weeks, and then he'll get signed to the roster.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe, possibly.
We don't we still have a roster spot open for Milano? I don't believe we do. Yeah, and it's Braden Allen. So, do we want to go quickly around the league?
Let's do it. Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
We'll start with the San Francisco 49ers, who have Purdy and Bosa out this week.
Oh.
And they're going against Green Bay.
I know. Green Bay, though, who's been playing a little shaky.
Yeah.
Like last week, boy, they got lucky with that blocked field goal. So, but they're in Green Bay, I believe. So, And now that you said Purdy's out, man, and who else? What's his name's out as well? You said
Nick Bosa.
Yeah, that's a tough out, man. I think Green Bay
is gonna
wind up beating. I don't know if they'll kill him, but I think they'll wind up beating him.
Yeah. Spen comes in and says Ufusio will probably get picked up by another team, and it could be Moreau. They could just drop the veteran. I don't know what they're going to do at linebacker. It'll be interesting.
I haven't. You're
but
right.
They don't have another,
Morrow, right?
Yeah, they don't have another Mike. Because Balin was that guy, and then Andreessen was his backup. So he was the third string. With Balin out now, Andreessen's the backup at Mike. So, and Milano doesn't play Mike at all. It's like he doesn't do it. So, Barkley, hoping Jones can. He says he hopes he gets a fresh start. He's happy for his buddy because Daniel Jones was released by the Giants.
Okay. Yeah, that's wild, man. That what a disaster. What's going on in
and even make
New Jersey
in that new that
for
new
both New
deal.
Jersey teams.
Oh my God, right?
I mean, they are just they're going through it, man. In New Jersey right now, man, it's wild. So, what do you think happens with Dable in?
That's a question I was going to ask you. I wonder if they're going to give him another year, if they're going to kick him to the curb and try to bring in Belichick to rebuild.
I think their GM might go too, bro.
Shane?
Because that whole Hard Knocks thing was so interesting with the owner and him talking about Saquon, and he didn't seem like he wanted to do it necessarily. It was really an odd. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling, and with what's going on in the Jets, right? Like
they're talking about Rex Ryan for the Jets.
That'd be wild for him to go back
to the Jets.
You know what? I'll tell you this. To be fair to Rex Ryan, and I know a lot of Bills Mafia is a little tough on him. I really don't think he's that bad of a head coach, bro. Like I really don't. I think what he did in New Jersey when he had who was Sanchez as quarterback, who, let's be real, average at best, got them to what, an AFC championship twice, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, pretty impressive. I'm just throwing that out there. And I think his last year there, the team was like not supposed to do anything, and I think he wound up getting them close to the playoffs or a decent amount of wins, and then they let him go. But he's not a terrible coach. He knows his stuff. He comes from his dad, right? Buddy Ryan. Like, the dude knows football. I'm just saying, if he got another chance, I don't think that's terrible wherever he goes. And if it's back to the Jets, though, I wonder if Jets fans will welcome him back. That's the interesting case.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna be mad. Right. They want to offense some. They want to offense.
That's what I'm saying. Coach. Right.
But here's the thing: if Aaron Rodgers comes back, who wants to take that job?
Bro, Aaron, did you read? You read that? What I sent you and through text about the owner? Yeah. That shit's true because that shit is now everywhere, and some heavy duty reporters came out. It's not like just some Joe Schmo down the street that reported it. Supposedly, Mikey, from everything I've heard, was the owner. What's his name? Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Woody Johnson went and talked to Saleh back after the Denver loss, and recommended that that Saleh benches Aaron Rodgers. Now Saleh, I guess, chuckled or said, "Are you serious?" He thought he didn't really what, kind of off guard. And he said, "No, I'm not doing that." And then remember, Saleh got fired 3 weeks later. And then of course their GM gets fired, who brung in Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying, if that's true, ain't no way in hell Aaron Rodgers even wants to go back. And then they'll have to figure that part out. And then if that is true, I also feel like any week now, Aaron Rodgers might come down with a season-ending injury and puts him on IR because shit is not right over there in the Jets. And bro,
I don't think he's going to do
it's
that
crazy
because I don't think he's going to want to do that to Devontae.
Does he really? You think he really gives a shit at this moment? If your owner's going into meeting,
the source. he didn't have Devontae there, I think he would do it in a heartbeat.
Maybe
with Devontae there, like he recruited Devontae there.
No, I get it, but I mean,
to play the fake injury shit would be.
I don't even know about maybe. And by the way, too, the source. Who do you think the source could possibly be? The old head coach. I'm just saying, very possible, right? The guy that got escorted out by security, right? Just throwing that out there.
You know. Also, I don't. Yeah, Binghamton says I don't know if Rex Ryan could be the head coach of the Jets. He's been trashing all of them on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even think the fans will welcome him back or want him back. But I don't think he's a bad coach at the same time, though. I think if somebody were to hire him, I think he'd be okay. He knows his stuff, man.
I want to go back to Triggs. Like, no, they're going to give Daboll a chance to draft and develop. I have a weird feeling that if Bill Belichick wants that job, they're going to can everybody, and they'll give it to Bill Belichick. If they don't, I can see them giving Shane and Daboll a year or two to figure it out.
And he has ties there. He coached there.
Yeah.
Super Bowl fucking defensive coordinator.
He's beloved there. He's beloved there. So if he wants to go back there, they'll take him. I don't know if he would want, I don't know if Belichick, knowing how old he is, I don't know if he would want to start over. I think he would want to go to an established place.
Right. That is true too.
We'll get to the coaching carousel because I want to ask you about some others, but let's get through the rest of the headlines.
Yeah, go
ahead. Bucks expect wide receiver Mike Evans to return this week.
Oh, nice.
That's right. Give him a high five for Mike Evans' return. My lineup. Eagles wide receiver Smith hamstring ruled out for the Rams. The Broncos and Chargers in Week 16 have been flexed to Thursday night. That's
okay.
I like that one. That should be a good game. Pickens slights Browns, blames loss on snow and refs.
No, come on.
Did you hear his comments?
And I heard that. First of all, bro, Pittsburgh gets really bad too. Just throwing that out there. Like, you ever see Pittsburgh sometime? Bro, they have snow. Same shit. It's the same, bro. Are you serious? Now, if he said, first of all, no excuse, even if you play in a dome, you go something like both teams got to play in it. However, I get it. Okay, they have the home field advantage. They're used to playing, blah, blah, blah. But you're in fucking Pittsburgh, which has the same elements. What are you talking about?
Right? You know? And then my last
I'm sure Tomlin. I'm sorry. I was going to say, I'm sure Tomlin told him to shut the fuck up.
You saw that he got in a fight with one of the corners, Newsome.
No, I didn't see it.
After the Hail Mary fail, him and Newsome were like in a fight. They had to be like separated by security and shit.
Wow. Okay.
And Newsome went on his Instagram or his Twitter or whatever. It was like fake tough guy. Yeah. And then he started slamming like, "Oh, they're a bad team." You know,
I know. Yeah, he said they suck.
What happened in the first half when there was no snow?
Right. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. So, and the last one, Commanders are going to sit Lattimore this week, make sure he's 100%. And he's looking like Week 13 will be his debut.
Okay.
So that's all around the league.
Nice.
I'm Prison Mike.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit about the head coaching carousel. You know, they think, we know they have the Jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know who they're going to get to take that job. They're talking about the Jags are probably going to have a new one.
Yeah, that's crazy that the guy didn't wind up working out there.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, yeah, Super Bowl winning head coach. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes, listen, Mikey. Sometimes it's just not a good fit, and sometimes things don't go your way. You know, I always say, right? It starts with the owner to the GM to the coaching.
All about
and if there's a disconnect there somewhere, probably not going to work out, no matter how great you are. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, he'll get another gig though. Promise you. If you was a Super Bowl winning head coach, don't matter. Somebody will hire him. He will find a job.
Someone's gonna. Do
it, absolutely.
We have Jets. We have the Jags. Who else? Dallas is gonna have a new head coach.
Yeah, I've been saying that. It's time. I get it. The guy's he's another guy, Super Bowl winning head coach, but I think he's had enough. I think his time has come up, man. In Dallas, it's time for a new voice, right?
Mhm.
They're totally. I don't know what they're going to do, and Jerry Jones giving contracts out. It's not like he's not paying his he's paid his top guys, but it's not working. Dak's that's twice now. Dak's had season-ending injuries too since he's been there. Like, man, star quarterback. That's rough, man. And then you got your defensive player now. They're not happy with him. He's going on podcast, right? Like fans aren't on Parsons. It's bad right now. It's losing will do that though. Losing does that, right? People get on edge and players get unhappy and start chirping. That's why I said I think they need a new voice in there, and maybe get rid of some of the guys. I don't think necessarily you need a reboot in Dallas, like where you need to just flush everybody out and get a whole new team. But I think that they probably need to like retool, right? Like get rid of some guys and get a new voice in there.
Cool. Hold this question. We're going to get to this when we go around and start figuring out who's going to be in the head coaching positions.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Joe Brady thing. Okay, so we know New Orleans is going to need one because they have their interim coach. Chicago's probably going to need one. I'm guessing Nagy's on his way out, or not Nagy, but Eberflus is on his way out.
Yeah, man, they're always going through fucking coaches over there in Chicago, huh?
Does Vegas get rid of Pierce after the first year? Now that Tom Brady's in leadership there too?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's only been one. I'm a firm believer of the 3-year rule for coaches, unless they're so bad, right? And then you can, get rid of them after a year.
He's 2-8.
I mean, if they're,
he's 2-8.
I get it, but it's the really first season he's had with the team. I'm just saying, like, you can't.
He's had blow-ups with his players.
I get it. I don't know. I guess that's up to the owner and GM. But I don't know, man. I would say it's tough, man. You trade your best. You're trading everybody around, right? Get rid of players already. Like, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would say bring him back another year and see what he can do. But who knows? I will say this: if there's a better option out there, and he wants to go there and be the coach, then then you probably are. The owner probably will go ahead in that direction. But yeah, how many awesome head coach, you know what I'm saying, are sitting out there waiting?
Well, we're gonna go through the list.
Yeah. All right.
So once we get
sounds
all
good.
The teams.
Sounds good.
Right.
Sounds good.
Cleveland Browns. Do you think because Stefanski's coach of the year? Do you think Cleveland, lets him go?
Man, I think the GM did they ever like the GM? Because the GM's done terrible decisions, right? I mean, the Deshaun Watson thing is a fireable offense right away because they're eating that. I don't know, man. That's tough, man. I think the GM kind of screwed him. Unless he was part of that whole decision making and bringing Deshaun there and all that, then maybe got to let them both go. But I would let the GM go.
So you would say Cleveland, you keep.
I would keep him for another year. Get yourself a quarterback. Because listen, they are still fight. Like they still fight, man. You saw last night they went against an 8-2 team, and they beat them. And they've beaten the Baltimore Ravens. Like I'm just saying, he's not as bad as the record shows. I don't think. So I would say keep him. I would get rid of the GM though. GM has really fucked them.
Okay.
Really, really hurt them.
Ian in the house saying Chiefs
Chiefs Kingdom. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Good luck this weekend. You guys were probably going to smash the
they absolutely are. Yeah, so, you guys are pissed. Yeah, they're going to take it all out on Carolina.
Spin through a couple others out there. Do you think Miami gets rid of McDaniel?
I've been saying that, but
I don't think so because they just signed him to the extension.
I hear that's what I'm saying. I don't care. The extension thing I don't care about. I've seen coaches get fired.
You don't care
with extent. No, but I've seen. I'm just saying. I've seen coaches in the past get extended and get fired. So I'm just saying that's part. Like I don't care about all that because I've seen it done before. However, like I talked to Curtis. Curtis doesn't think it's going to happen. I thought it was going to happen this season. But we'll see. You know what? This is what I think. It'll we'll see how the Dolphins finish the regular season. If Tua is healthy the rest of the way and they don't make the playoffs and they lose to teams they're not supposed to lose to, very possible he gets fired.
Okay.
If they come close to making the playoffs or somehow squeeze in the playoffs, then yeah, he'll probably wind up staying, because then the owner will be like, all right, yeah, we started slow because Tua, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think Greer should be let go. But for some reason, it seems like Greer and the owner have a connection.
He just doesn't ever.
It's odd. Yeah. It's really odd, especially right. Greer. Greer's been there a while.
Right. What about Cincinnati's head coach? He's fighting with Jamar and some other guys. Do you think
too much talent, right? To have the starts they have every season, it seems like, right? And to barely squeeze in the playoff because you're having these bad starts, which you shouldn't. You have a lot of talent on that team. I would get rid of them especially if they don't make the playoffs.
Will. Not will you? Do you think they will?
Yes, I do. It's time to move on.
It's going to be open.
Yep.
All right. We'll keep that one as an open. All right. The 49ers. I just don't see it.
Man, no.
Out here,
I just went to the Super Bowl.
In Northern California. I just don't see them getting rid of him.
I don't either.
There's not a call for it right now from the fans.
Just went to the Super Bowl last year. They got talent there. Once again, a guy that they're going through injuries, so he has that in his back pocket. I think he stays. There's no reason to fire that guy.
Okay, and then my last one for you is Tampa Bay with Todd Bowles. Right now, Tampa Bay is 4-6.
Yeah,
Mike Evans back. They could make a run, but if they don't, I have a feeling that Todd Bowles is on his way out.
I'm with you there. If they don't make the playoffs, then he's out.
All right, so we'll add him to the list of yes. And then did we decide Giants? Are we putting them as firing both of them?
I think they both get canned.
Okay. Then we're gonna leave that. We're gonna have them in the list too. All right, so let's hit some chats before we get into where we're gonna place people. I feel like the Chiefs will lose to the Chargers, Broncos, and Steelers. That's very doable. What Chiefs team do you get though? That's the question. You know what I mean?
Right.
They've been living dangerously all year though.
They really are. Yeah, and tight games. Same with the Steelers though, and it caught up to them. They've been in close games, and eventually you get that you meet that team that get you.
Mm-hmm. FG comes in and says, "What do you think about the Chiefs signing offensive tackle DJ Humphries, former Pro Bowl?" Listen, I think it's a fantastic move. It's a complete lotto ticket. Who knows what he's going to look like coming off the ACL?
Right.
Remember when Lyle Collins was like the big one everyone wanted to get because he was a former Pro Bowler, All Pro. I remember. You never know what these guys. But listen, their left tackle has been so bad this year. They've gone through two. That this was like when I heard that he was cleared, I knew the Chiefs were going to make the call.
Yeah, why not? I absolutely why not?
I think it's a smart move by them to try to even if they get 70% of what
better than what they have.
Better than what they have now.
Absolutely. I
don't like that as a Bills fan because I don't want the Chiefs to get any better. But I mean, it makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
The Chiefs will eventually get Hollywood Brown back. That'll help. We'll see if he comes back. Like they say he's going to come back, but they also said it was going to be a 2-week injury and end up doing a whole season. So we'll see if he actually makes it back. I'll believe it when I see it, when he's on the field.
Right.
The owners said that GM and Daboll are staying.
Man,
the owner also said Daniel Jones was the starter for the rest of the year at one point.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Daniel, don't.
But I'm with you on that. I mean, I would like to see Daboll have a chance to draft his own quarterback because the owner saddled those guys with them.
Right. Now it's very you're right. Now I will say that there is a possibility. You are right there because they kind of came into it, right? That they're given an opportunity to go ahead and restart with the quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. Get a young, but that means more patience because you're getting a rookie quarterback more than likely. Mm-hmm. That means you need another, depending on now he could be a stud coming out of college, but normally rookie quarterbacks take a couple years to develop, right? So that means a little bit more patience. So the owner would have to understand that they may not have the best season next year with a rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Unless they find a veteran and sit the rookie out there in the free agent market, very possible that happens as well.
We'll see what happens. Chuck comes in and says Bengals may want to reunite Joe Brady with Chase and Burrow. Oh God, don't even do that to me. Like honestly, that would be such a good move on their part.
It would be, yeah. I didn't even
Who
think
knows
about that.
better
That's
how to
funny.
use those guys than him?
Right, that's right. The old OC, right?
Right? You know, oh God, that would kill me. It would kill me. Let's see what this is here. New York Giants owner is serious about his desire to keep Brian and Joe Shane and is tired of cycling through coaches every 2 years. Yeah, and I know Jeremy Fowler brought that out. DG, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
What do you think about this?
Daniel Jones.
Miles Connor, my buddy. The Jets need Daniel. You know what? That's not even. It's not even a terrible. I'm just saying, if something were to happen with Aaron,
he could be a bridge to the next quarterback that they draft.
Right. I'm just saying, you never know. That's actually great.
But is Daniel Jones better than Tyrod Taylor? Because that's who's their backup right now.
Right. I like Tyrod, but I think Tyrod's also, he's a shell of himself in a way, right? Still can be, he's a good backup, but I think Daniel Jones maybe a little bit younger. Probably has a little edge over him. Mm-hmm. I'm just throwing that out there, but who knows? I don't know. Daniel Jones, he hasn't been playing the best either. So,
yeah. Triggs comes in and says, "Listen, if Kyle Shanahan is available, you fire McDermott in a heartbeat, bringing Kyle Shanahan." It
still won't happen. He ain't going nowhere, bro.
McDermott's not going anywhere. It just ain't gonna happen. I can't wait for the Lions game. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Let's not overlook the Niners and the Rams, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I'm with you, Mikey.
Spin comes in and says Belichick, Vrabel, Carroll, Ben Johnson, Solvic, Rex Ryan, Jets. Laugh out loud. Joe Brady.
Possibly.
The Jets defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. So let's do this. Let's start with the New Orleans Saints. I'm hearing Aaron Glenn is huge on the Saints. He's a former Saint. The franchise loved him. I'm hearing he's like the top of the list. Who do you think would fit best for the Saints? Because I can also see Brady going back to the Saints. He was a coach under Sean Payton there.
All right. Crazy that the Lions are about, and that's what happens when you're a really good team. You lose your coordinators, and they're about to lose a few of them. Yeah, I don't know, man. I possible, but I think the Cincinnati one, I think that one's more intriguing if you're Joe Brady. If Joe Brady got an offer from Cincinnati, that would probably be.
So you want to go Cincinnati first, and you're going to put Joe Brady to Cincinnati?
If that job was available and they offered him that job, I don't think he could turn it down. Bro, he has a ton of weapons and familiar weapons.
Head coaching job after this year?
You know what? I'm just saying, if he's offered, it's a coach's dream to be a head coach. Most OCs, DCs, that's what their ultimate goal is. Most of them. Some of them like to stay where they're at. But if he had calls last year, supposedly. You don't think he'd get calls this year coming this offseason? Of course he would. And he was fresh at it last year. So more than likely he'll get, I would say, double the call, right? If there's a lot of openings available, and if Cincinnati is one of them, dude, I think he would take it and run with it.
I want to hit on this one. It's actually, you weren't wrong. It wasn't the GM. Joe Shane didn't make the decision between Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. I understand that's the way it showed on it, but if you read any of the reports leading up to it, the owner saddled them and made Daniel Jones the priority. That wasn't Daboll that wasn't Daboll and Shane's decision. So that was an owner decision. And I think it's why they're not going to can those two,
right?
Because he saddled them with what they had.
Man, boy, that was a mistake, huh?
Yeah. Because to me, Kyle and Allen would be a match made in heaven, just like his dad, Mike, in LA. Now, don't get me wrong. If Kyle Shanahan is out there, I 1000% agree. He should
absolutely
find his way to Buffalo. I really believe that.
It just wouldn't.
It's just not going to happen.
Right.
You know,
Right. You're right.
as much as we may want it, I doubt they'll be able to pay T. Higgins and Chase. No, they're going to pay Chase. And it's going to
Chase
be
can
Burrow
pay.
and Chase. Well, I think they'll pay Chase. I think Chase will take the money only if, you know, their head coach is out, because they don't get along at all.
That I could see. You're right. That could be a part of it. And like I said, if they don't make the playoffs, for me, he's been there long enough. They've had sloppy starts.
Mm-hmm.
They've really underperformed except for the 1 year they went to the Super Bowl. For me, for that talent, I think it's they don't make the playoffs, you got to let them go. You have to have a new voice in there.
No, I'm
you're going to keep your players happy too. You got to keep your star players happy.
Yeah,
because if Chase ain't happy, Burrow probably isn't happy.
Listen, I thought McDermott was going to be on the hot seat this year, starting 9-2, basically like completely put out any fire that was under him.
Yeah, that's long gone, right?
And in our get right year of the cap, I don't even want to call it a rebuild. I don't want to call it a retool. It's our get the cap right year.
Yep.
He's 9-2 to start. Like, he ain't going anywhere. Scott,
shout out real quick. Real quick, shout out to everybody in the chat. I like to do a little thank everybody for always supporting us. Cali Blitz, my dude, Triggs, Arianda, Spin, Daniel. Thank you, everybody. Miles, for joining us. And if I didn't call your name, Scott Blakely, of course.
FG.
Hey, Mr. Fulton, the most interesting man in the chat. Let's see what he has to say. I always like the most interesting man in the chat. He always comes with something different. Go ahead, Mikey.
Hello, Tommy and Mikey. On November 20th was my big 25th golden birthday. My quarter of a century of a decade.
Wow. Well, happy.
He's always got something
birthday.
going on, man.
You always do that. That's what makes you the most interesting man in the chat. So, yeah, happy birthday.
Oh, my God. No. Spin, if we started 9-2 and we end up 9-8, his
fire him immediately.
He won't be here. I guarantee you
that. No. It'll be the biggest epic failure in sports history.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you get him out of here is if something like that happens.
Dude. I would have a fucking meltdown here on this podcast. And I would even have a even worse meltdown if they kept him. Like, I would really lose my shit, Mikey.
Yep. Get this. The Bills are in a rebuild year. Reset year. And sitting at 9-2.
Yeah.
Nets and Dolphins went all in, and somehow they ended up tanking.
Yeah. Wild, man. You know? Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins are, to their credit, they are fighting still. They still have an opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's a long shot.
70 million in dead cap and still managed a 9-2 record at this point. I think McDermott's pretty safe.
Nah, he's safe, bro.
McDermott made a lot of really smart hires to his coaching staff this year. You know, with Babbage, with Brady, bringing in Ronald Curry as the quarterback coach, going out and getting the new secondaries coach, like shaking up the entire coaching staff was like a brilliant move because there's new voices in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you there, and also understanding he has to be a little bit, hands off when it comes to his coordinators. Let them do their coaching, right?
And that's what Robert's saying right here. He's like, I feel McDermott trusts Brady and Babbage and his coaching staff more. I do too. I don't feel like they have that. I mean, they did early in that Texans game, but since then, I think it's been kind of like a hands off type of deal.
Seems like it. It really does.
Who should we be going for this Sunday? We'll get to around the league stuffs on who should win. We have 52% chance of making the playoffs if we lose out. Right? Because here's the thing.
I know.
We need Miami to lose like one more.
Yeah. I mean,
and we clinch.
Right. It's like.
Wild, not a fan of Smiley, but the coaching staff otherwise is great. You're right, Scott. Smiley can kick rocks.
No, Smiley's terrible. I don't know what he has on McDermott.
He's terrible.
I don't get. Like I don't get that one either. I don't know what's going on there.
I can't imagine what Devontae Adams is thinking sitting on the Jets roster. Listen, they asked him about it if he regretted the trade, and he's like, "No, it was that bad in Vegas." He's like, "At least here, I know we have a chance to win every week. Now we have to execute, but at least we have a chance."
Right.
He's like, he felt like in Vegas there was zero chance of winning. All right, this one's for you.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. Tommy, by the way, in this glorious off week, can you provide a quick thesis of your opinion?
Seems good. Technically, does he qualify as dynamic? Why or why not?
I love it.
Is it 2 spin? Okay. Oh, yeah, I think it was if I think it was if they needed to lose one and we needed to win one. I think is what I think it was that I read. Or they need to lose 2 because there's a chance they lose 2 before we play again. Because
I'm gonna tell you right now, Miami and New England this weekend. That's not it. Listen, New England is they're not going to just lay down for the Dolphins. I don't think they'll win. I think Miami has the better team, but would it shock me if New England beat them? No. It's a division game. Division games are tough, and it's not like the Finns are like they're still a little shaky. Still a little shaky.
Can they beat the Finns? Yes, I do believe they can beat the Finns.
Exactly.
They have a good enough defense to beat the Finns.
Right.
Bean is the person that's going to get more gray hair because Bean is going to have to pay Groot, Shakir, Benford, Bernard, Cook, and Matt to do better next year. Listen, of these guys, and we'll at some point get back to this coaching search thing, but you guys are kind of driving this chat in different directions. I think Groot and Shakir definitely get contracts. I think Benford and Bernard are up for what type of contract are we going to be willing to give them? I think Groot and Shakir get it this offseason. I think Benford and Bernard we get it after. I don't think we're giving Cook a contract. I think we're going to let him move on.
Yeah,
we just don't pay running backs at all.
No, I just don't see that happen. Listen, you know what they'll wind up doing with Cook? He'll do what he normally does: go out there and test the market.
Yeah,
and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? But I think the market is now starting, or I think Mikey are looking at running backs a little bit different. So he may get a decent deal out there. And I don't think Brandon Beane, especially with Ray Davis, I'm just throwing that out there. And they could draft another running back, which they probably will in the 3rd or 4th round. To do what? Sit behind Ray Davis, right?
Yeah. We did it with Singletary.
Right?
Now it's Cook, and it's part of the evolution that we go through.
We have
him for 4 years. We let him move on. Well, they may come back on a cheap deal for 1 more year, like Singletary did before he moves. But
True.
That's kind of how it is. I don't think Benford is our number 1 priority at all. All Bean and McDermott does is find quality corners.
Yeah, I'm with Mikey there too, and I love Christian McCaffrey.
I think
and I really hope
is going to be our top priority on defense, and I think Shakir's our top priority on offense.
Absolutely, Shakir is. They love Shakir, dude. Shakir, they will, and I think Shakir loves playing here. It's a place we drafted. We trusted him, and Groot will also, I think, give a decent break by coming back.
I don't think so. I think they both get paid, but they're going to build their contracts to allow us to be flexible, like Josh Allen does.
Well, that's what I mean. I think it'll be a little bit friendly. You know what I mean? They'll work it out where it's a team friendly deal. I don't think Shakir gets super paid.
Yeah, though. Douglas, I think he moves on at the end of the year. He's going to be over 30.
I do too.
We don't tend to give those contracts out as much as I like.
Hold on, Mike. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, keep talking. Because I had a list of the guys that were actually. Let me pull that up.
Okay, and I don't think Douglas comes back. I do think, unless it's for like a 2-year deal, that's the only way. And I think he's going to want a bigger deal than that.
Okay, now mind you, this list here is a little older. It was a start of the season, so some of these players are not on the team anymore. So we'll just skip through them as we go through them. How about that? Make life a little easier, and we can go. Okay, there's the guy we were just talking about, Rasul Douglas. I don't think he'll be back either. I'm with Mikey.
Unless it's a solid 2-year, you know what I mean? but we're not going to give him top of the market money.
Yep. All right. Here's the next one. Austin Johnson.
I think he's just going to be a 1 year guy, and then we'll probably say goodbye to him.
Yep, me too. Well, hey, there's that guy.
Edwards is already gone. He's already gone.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of these guys on here, you're going to see they're gone already because this was right before we started the season, obviously.
Yeah.
Mac Hollins.
I think Mac Hollins comes back. I think he comes back on 1 year deal though.
He loves 1 year deals on different teams, but you might be right.
He really likes it here. Everyone seems to really like him. I can see him coming back as a 1 year deal.
It's a possibility. I'm with you. It's a good
It'll
morale.
The first time that he plays in back-to-back same city in back-to-back years.
I know, wild, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm with you. I think he comes back on a 1 year cheapy deal. Dwayne Smoot.
1 year, $2 million is probably what he'll get. $2.5 million, something like that.
Yep.
Dwayne Smoot, I would love to see him come back because I don't think Vaughn's going to come back. I think we're going to pay Groot. I think we'll pay Dwayne because he's coming off of another injury, so I don't think it's gonna be high, and it might be a 1 or 2 year deal for him.
Okay.
It'll be AJ, it will be Dwayne, it will be Groot, it will be Solomon, and then we'll probably draft somebody.
Fair enough. I can see that happening. I'm with you there. Reggie Gilliam.
I don't think so. I think they can find Reggie Gilliam in the draft.
Yeah, it's time for Reggie's been here long enough. I think it's time to move on from the Reggie. But you know what, though? He's done really well on special teams and team guy, good guy. No, I have no problem with him. Even if he winds up coming back, I won't even care either.
Before you move on, next one,
he's gone. Yeah, go ahead.
You move on. But Bernard's back next year. This is only his 3rd year. He has 4 years, so he'll be back next year regardless.
Yeah, I'm going through everything here.
And Fred and Bernard both will be back next year.
Right. All the players are free agents, guys, on the chat. It's going to be in this list, by the way.
Yeah.
MVS
that was asked before we started this, so.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. So just a heads up.
Yeah. MVS, he's doing well in New Orleans, and I'm happy for him.
I know he is, man. He found a spot that fits him. That's fine. Collins is gone. Moreau, I think he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Right?
Well, we found a lot of younger guys.
Right. What about Ty? Interesting. They seem to like him.
They do. I can see him coming back on a 1 year deal. I can't see us bringing him back for any larger than that, though.
Yeah, he's not really old or anything.
Although I would hate to see that because I really hope Frank Gore Jr. gets a shot at running back 3 next year. Maybe draft a late round guy and let him fight with Frank Gore Jr. for running back 3.
Callie, you don't like our ads? Was it a Jets Pizza? Listen, some of these ads are pretty good.
Oh, this one's a good one. Cooperson won't be on the list.
No,
so
he won't
be
because it's older.
I would love to bring Cooper back. It's really going to be up to Cooper.
Yeah, it would be probably a 2 to 3 year deal.
It actually might be a 2 to 3 year deal with a year
way out
on a way to spread out the money.
Exactly. Yeah, and there might be some incentives in there and all that good stuff to spice it up.
You think Douglas has been a liability this year?
No.
I don't think he's been CB1. I think he's been CB2. I think Benford is absolutely CB1 in Buffalo.
I think he's definitely lost. No, I don't think so. I think he lost a little step, to be honest with you, as far as the speed goes. He's definitely a little bit slower than I remember him being, but he's also older. He's not like a young corner back there. So, but I don't think he's a liability. I think he's a good number 2 next to Benford right now. But yeah, after this year, I don't see him back. Absolutely.
He's not making the splash plays he made last year.
He's not.
But he also doesn't have Hyde and Poyer telling him where to be and things. So like last year, he listened to them and they told him what to look for and where to be, and he was there and he made plays. So
yep.
Robert comes in and says, I would love to see Bean draft a big, fast DB and a big defensive tackle. Give me a defensive tackle all flipping day. Bean and McDermott seem to find late round DBs. I'm not worried about that at all.
They do. Yeah, I wouldn't worry either. All right.
I'm ready to move on from Hamlin. He's a liability. I'm ready to move on from Hamlin too.
Yeah, you'll see him
but we'll talk about him when he pops up in here.
Yep.
Deion Jones already gone.
Yep.
Spencer Brown already paid.
Already paid, baby.
Yes. Already gone. I think he gets re-signed. Although last week he struggled with some snaps.
He did, but he's been here, so he's good, bro. He's
he's
solid.
real good. He's one of the best long snappers in football.
Yeah, I think he comes back. They don't want to fuck that up, and he's been reliable.
Yeah, I think he comes back.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Casey Tuhill, nope.
One
I
year
think he's
and
gonna
done,
be.
yep.
I think he's gonna be like
Hey,
Settle. He's gonna go off and do decent. Like Settle has 6 sacks for the Texans.
I know. I saw him last week. Nailed the shit out of who was it?
I swear to God, it's our defensive scheme that just doesn't allow these guys to do shit.
Yeah, bro. I forget who they played last week.
I'm not sure he's in the league.
No, like that poor guy. I feel bad for him. I forgot about Andy.
He's on a practice squad,
right? Yeah.
I mean, I could see them bringing him back as a practice squad guy. Anko, practice squad guy.
Yeah. Trey McKitty,
practice squad guy.
Yeah. Evans,
practice
I think they released him. Did they bring him back? I thought they released him.
They might
from
have
the practice squad.
I don't know.
Okay.
I would love to see him get more. If I was him, I wouldn't want to come back.
No, neither would I. I would be like, dude, I got no opportunity.
You guys have Virgil
right.
over me?
Right. You gave me 0 opportunity. Even when you had a shit ton of players out, you called me up just to scratch me.
The greatest long snapper in the league until last week.
What the fuck?
Touche. Both Settle and Punafort are killing it. They are. Both killing it for their teams.
Just different systems,
Bass
man.
has to go. Well, we'll see what happens.
Tommy Doyle. There he is. Damar.
I
think he's gone.
I hope he's gone.
I think
I hope he goes gone. I hope he's gone. He goes. That's it. I think go back up because I think Bouchel comes back as the third QB. We've
maybe
we've kept him. Like we could have cut him and let him go, and we've held on to him. He's in the QB room. Josh talks about how smart he is.
We'll see.
Coach.
I'm not a fan. We'll see what happens.
Like he's not going to be like QB2. He'll be a practice squad QB.
No, I know. Yeah, and who cares? Right. I get you.
Kyron Brown. He practice squad guy.
Quentin Morris.
He's a restricted free agent, so I imagine we match it and bring him back.
Yeah, and it'll be a cheap deal.
Yep.
Kingsley Jonathan.
Same thing. He's a practice squad guy, so who knows what happens with him.
And it seems like he's been here forever, right? Like I don't know why. I feel like he's been on the team forever. Hey, Zach Davidson.
Did we skip Doyle?
We did. He's up here. I think.
I think we're going to bring him back on a 1-year cheap deal and give him a shot.
Tommy Doyle.
Like he's
I feel for the guy.
Man.
That's why I don't know, Mikey.
I can see them
always hurt, bro.
Listen, he got let go. Everyone had a chance, and no one took him. I could see Bean bringing him back on veteran minimum, 1-year deal, and see what he can do in camp. He'll be a camp body.
Spin. I'm not a fan of practice. I just don't like. I don't care for him.
Anybody who's not like gonna be a superstar or isn't built the way Josh Allen runs the offense, Tommy wants no part of them. Like, go give me a guy who can run the offense.
Exactly.
The way our offense is designed. Like,
get out of here.
Like, go give me somebody in the mold.
On no party.
Go give me Joe Milton. Joe Milton was built like Josh Allen. That made more sense.
Absolutely.
Oh,
man. All right, where
pick
were
up
we?
Jones next year to back up J17. Daniel Jones didn't want a shot at starting. I would love that to be the case, but I just don't see it.
Zach Davison.
Detour sunglasses that make for some large heads. Okay. How would you even know whether Doyle's worth a second look or not? He's never been healthy. Because when he was healthy, he was getting reps along every position. Matter of fact, he was in a game in Miami on a torn ACL and finished the game and played well.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to a guy. I want to give him a shot.
I don't know, Spin. I'd have to go through my practice squad free agent quarterback list. I'll get back to you on that next year.
Zach Davidson, I think he comes back. I think on a 1-year deal. Like, he barely missed this year.
I do too. I think he had a good camp and everything.
Vandermark's a restricted free agent. He's gonna come back on a cheap deal.
RVD, yep. Alec Anderson.
I think he comes back on a cheap deal because
they like him too. Yeah, they use him a lot.
Restricted free agent.
I do too. Hey, this guy, remember that?
Nope. He's gone. In fact, he's training for MMA right now.
Is he? He's going.
He's training
Oh,
with John
okay.
Jones.
Okay. Good for him.
I think he went back to college, and he's doing stuff in college.
That's the end of this list, by the way.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Davidson had a career game last week. Yeah, with his whole 2 catches, or 1 catch for like 5 yards or something like that. But his first catch he ever had in the pros. So got to give him credit.
I'll remove that. We're gonna be going through that list. In a minute.
Move on from Trubisky. Bring in Danny Dimes. Budget clearance rack at the dollar store version.
Trubisky is terrible. Like you cannot bring him back. Like for sure, you gotta let him go. Sure.
I just think Danny Dimes is gonna want to go somewhere. Maybe he decides to take the Trubisky route and say, "I'm gonna go spend a year behind a quarterback," and maybe he does that.
Yeah, it's possible.
He knows Daboll and Shane. Maybe Daboll and Shane's like, "Listen, Buffalo's a good place to go."
Yeah. I think he goes somewhere where he might have an opportunity.
Me too.
Where
I think he ends up in either like Minnesota or San Francisco or somewhere like that.
That's what I'm saying. Minnesota might be a good play. Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen over there. And JJ had a second surgery, by the way. They're saying he'll be back in 2025, but knee injuries like
said
that
the same
stuff,
thing about Teddy Bridgewater when he hurt himself.
Yeah, dude, they're not. It's tough to come back from, bro.
Yeah.
But he is young. We'll see. But the thing is, they don't even really know what they got in him still. Yeah, he hasn't even stepped foot really. And
Daniel Jones could be if Sam Darnold gets a bag somewhere, Daniel Jones could be that next guy that there's like, oh, this is a good stopgap, and we'll let him fight with McCarthy for the starting job.
That's what I'm saying. You never right, exactly. So I think he wants to go somewhere where he can at least
Daniel Jones may end up in Vegas.
Yeah.
They need a quarterback.
They love taking quarterbacks that were washed up or somewhere else. They love it over there. So yeah, I can see that happening.
I think the Jags should pick up Danny Dimes. The Jags just paid a Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is not going.
Danny Dimes is as bad as Mac Jones.
No, I don't think. Is he? I don't think so.
Yes.
You think he's as bad as Mac Jones?
Yes. The only thing is he can run better. That's it.
Right. As I'm saying, Mac Jones is
the only thing that he does better than Mac Jones is run.
You don't think he has a better arm than Mac Jones?
No.
Mac Jones is He's a pretty weak arm.
I am not a Danny Dimes fan. I think
I'm not either. I just don't.
Mac Jones round draft pick that got drafted got overdrafted because he was in Cutcliffe's offense.
Touche. No, listen. I'm not. I think it was funny when they gave him the money, but I think he's a little better than Mac Jones, bro.
I don't know. Okay. Lawrence is out for the season, isn't he? Yeah, for the rest of this season. He'll be back next year. Oh, you're talking about going there for the rest of this season? Oh, that would make sense for him if he wants to go play for a bad team.
Is he really out? Is he out for the season? Yeah. I didn't even know this. When was this? When did this happen? Why do I don't know this about this?
I don't know because you're not following.
Wow, but you never did it in the NFL news around the league. I don't remember calling.
I don't think. I think it was like in the midweek type of thing.
Yeah, but normally you would say, okay, wow. See, I really didn't even know. I don't listen, man. For the most part, I just concentrate on Bills news, man.
I know.
I have you for the NFL around the league crap.
Yeah, here's the question: think we lose any more games?
Look at Mikey. He's taking a deep breath. Like he has to think about this one.
I think we have a chance to drop one, but I only think we drop one. And I don't think it's against the Lions.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know, man. That's a great question.
You want to know what the crazy part is? You want to know who I think we drop one to? The Patriots.
You think so?
It just seems like that type of, and it might be week 18 where we already have stuff clinched up and we have nothing to play for.
Put it this way. I don't know, man. I think if we don't lose to the Lions, I don't see us losing, man. Like, look, San Francisco right now.
Could we lose to the Rams on the road? Yes.
Of course you can. You can lose a couple. You can lose to the 49ers. I don't see it happen. Listen, 49ers right now are banged up.
Yep.
I think we can beat them. We're at home. We're coming off a bye. Now, mind you, our bye weeks performances haven't been the best. So, but we're also we have not lost the bye week game after the bye week game.
Yeah, we just didn't play the best.
We just haven't played the best. So I think we can beat the 49ers at home. The Rams, like you said, I think that's interesting. You know, depending on what Rams you're getting, because they did get beat by the Dolphins at home. I didn't see that happening, and they were healthy. Yeah. But I think that's a winnable game. This Detroit game is tough. Listen. That is the toughest game right now on the schedule. And then you got home again.
Right now, the 425 game. They're talking about Sunday night on Monday
CBS.
Night.
Really? Oh,
I'm gonna flex it.
That'd be
nice. Know by December 3rd.
Okay. So, and then you're home against New England. I think you can beat New England. You're home against the Jets, and by then, I mean, listen, even now, it don't matter. Jets are terrible.
Yeah, but then we're away. We're away to finish.
Then you're at the Patriots. Then you're at the Patriots.
And
so
if the seed's already locked up and we don't got the 1 seed, I could see us sitting guys and us losing to the Patriots.
If you remember, though, when we did our season predictions, I said the last game we would lose. That would be one of our losses because we would already have the division wrapped up in resting players.
You gave us.
No, I gave us 2. I gave us the 49ers at the time.
Oh, okay.
I said we beat the Chiefs, come back, and play sloppy against them because, you know.
Okay,
but I also at that time didn't know how bad the 49ers would be playing this year and all the injuries that got piled up. So, I changed my mind on that.
Okay. I'm with that. Okay. The Daniel Jones with Dak out. They could, but they already have Trace or
that's a good one. Yeah,
Trey Lance.
But they got Trey Lance. Yeah. Something's going on with Trey. He must be terrible, bro, behind the scenes.
Something. Right? I think they said he could potentially come back if they were competitive, but they're going to keep him out for the year because they're not trying to win anymore. Yeah, I think Lawrence could have came back if they were in the playoff race, but I don't think they're going to. I think they said they were going to keep him out.
Right. So it's not. I got you. Right.
So it wasn't officially like out for a year. It was just like.
Got you. Okay. See, that makes sense. Why? Yeah. If you don't need him out there, you're not going anywhere this season. Right. Mm-hmm. Let's just get him back.
Healed up.
Right. Let's get him back for next year with a new coach and maybe some new players around. Yeah. Right, I got you.
Yeah. If we don't lose another game, that would mean we're on a 12-game win streak. I don't see that happening.
Roy,
there's the Roy I know. There's the Roy I know.
There's Roy.
There he is.
Hey, I remember Roy Scott telling me one year when we lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that this team was terrible. It was over. And I had to convince my buddy Scott
year too after the Denver.
Oh, game. You're right.
We all. I sat here and said, I don't see us winning another freaking game.
Yeah, but I had to calm everybody down.
Then they canned Dorsey and brought in Brady, and it changed our entire fortunes.
I will say though, I was with you last year on it. Like after that one loss to Denver, I was. Oh boy! But that year that we remember that, and you were mad about the Tampa. I said, I don't know. It's all spark, and I'm glad I stuck with my team.
You did see a spark.
I did.
You kept calling for it too.
I did.
Scott, I agree. I think it was a perfect time for a bye. Although I think I would have rather got past the Niners and then had the bye, so I had the bye like next week, and then go out to the Rams off the bye rather than having the 49ers at home. Because we were playing so well, I would have liked to get the Niners out of the way.
The momentum, kind of the momentum thing. Yeah, that's all right though. We needed guys we needed guys
to get healthy.
And Cooper, and you could tell Cooper's still not. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's wearing a soft cast. Like we need him down the stretch here, healthy. Give him some breaks. Give him a couple weeks.
The first game wasn't the Eagles game. We had a game before the Eagles game, right? Where Brady came in. Last year,
I have to look at the schedule.
I don't remember.
I'll find it. I think so. I think it was the Eagles game, actually, though. He might be right.
First one. So he lost his first game. That sucks. Because our kicker can't freaking make an extra point.
Right.
And our defense collapsed in the second half.
Right. I
didn't get a chance to ask you. What did you think?
He was wrong. It was the Jets.
Yeah, Jets was the first game, and we beat the Jets.
We lost to the Eagles, and then we came back, and that's when we went on our run. We had a bye week, Mikey. We beat the Chiefs, beat the Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots,
Yeah.
Dolphins, and then we went.
I didn't get a chance to ask you about what your thoughts were on Diggs and Davis going on IR.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I hate to see players just in general. Like, that sucks. But it is what it is, man. Bills got. But listen, it doesn't mean if they were here, they would have went on IR. Like, I don't like the whole.
No, I
narrative,
wasn't
like,
saying that either. But I'm saying
no, I know that. I'm just saying, like,
isn't it
people are
weird
like,
that
oh,
the second they were out of here,
it
first
is
season out of here.
It really is. But you know what? Diggs is like, fuck. Like, listen. Diggs wasn't gonna. They had him for 1 year. You know where he wants to go, right? He wants to play with his brother in Dallas. So for him, was he truly happy? Like, he's ready to go to Dallas.
According to his quarterback, he's never had more fun playing football.
Yeah, well, he can have a lot of fun
been
right
in
now.
a better situation than he was.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's feeling about that situation now with how bad they've looked.
Right.
Yikes.
Yeah. And look how bad Dallas is. Like, he's going to go to a even funkier situation with Dallas getting a new coaching, and that ain't no.
Right? In regular season spin, yes, that's right. In regular season, Brady's 15-3 as our offense coordinator.
Yeah, wild, right?
Yeah. And he's 16-4 with playoffs included because he was 1-1 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs who? That's right. So, all right. Do you want to do yours, and then we'll hop back into the coaching piece?
Yeah, there's the little article here who we should be rooting for this weekend.
Okay.
Pretty cool little article, just guys we should be rooting for. So first things first, we already know the outcome here. Thank you, Cleveland Browns. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Chiefs at Panthers. Obviously, we're rooting for the Panthers, but we know how that's going to go, right?
Yep.
Titans at Texans. The Texans should win. However, Texans haven't been playing that great.
But
they
frisky, man.
Yes, I mean, but at Houston,
I think the Texans win, but I think Titans are frisky.
But Houston just walloped Dallas too. Like I'm just saying, like, I think they beat. I don't see. I get what you're saying, but I don't see the Texans losing at home against.
I don't either. I think that it's gonna be closer than people think.
Sure. Lions at Colts. Obviously, we want the Lions to win. But what do you think? Do you think the Colts have any fighting chance in this game? I don't think they do.
What Lions team do you get? Do you get the monster, or do you get the one that where they get to Goff?
True, right? The 5 turnover.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the 5 turnovers, but he's played bad in other games.
He has.
And
the Colts are one of those teams too. It's at Indy.
Yeah.
That are frisky. Yeah, it's at. But we do want the Lions to win. Right.
Yeah. I think the Lions do win. I want the Lions and the Bills to both win the next 2 weeks. They'll set up that matchup. It'd be the 11. Yeah, we'd be 11-2 Buffalo Bills versus the 12.
They got 1 loss. Yep.
12-1 Detroit Lions. That would be great.
Yep. Patriots at Dolphins. Obviously, we want the Patriots to win, right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we want the Patriots to win. And I think they have a shot. They do. They definitely do.
Yeah.
They have an opportunity to beat the Dolphins, but it's going to be tough. They are in Miami. We'll see happen. And Miami did beat them the first time around. It was a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos at Raiders. We want the Raiders. Raiders gonna be tough. Broncos are playing pretty good football, Mikey.
I actually want the Broncos to win this game.
You want the Broncos to win?
I do, because I want them to. I want them to keep it. I want them, if they keep winning, I want them to take one of the wild cards.
Got you.
The Bengals keep the Dolphins, keep them out of the playoffs.
Okay.
I also like Sean Payton.
That's their reason why, by the way. They just say, division rival. But the Broncos 6-5 are the last team currently in the wild card. Might as well welcome further distance from the Bills with the Raiders win. So, But that's the teams we should be rooting for pretty much. But Mikey's only opposition is the last one. So,
and listen,
don't matter, man.
It doesn't really matter one way or the other to me.
Right.
I would like to see the Broncos win. I'd like to see the Broncos get in, because if I'm looking at the playoffs, right, the playoff picture. So let me pull up the playoff picture real quick. Right now, it's the Denver's in the 7th seed, and then they have Indianapolis, Miami, and the Bengals. Indianapolis isn't going to beat the Lions.
No.
And Denver's only got a 1-game lead on Miami, one loss from a loss standpoint, 1 loss on Miami, and 2 losses on the Bengals. I need them to keep winning.
I see what you're saying. Yep. All right. Makes sense.
Better off having the Dolphins in the playoffs over the Broncos. You think so?
I disagree. I think the Dolphins still have better weapons than the Broncos on offense, at least.
I just don't want the Dolphins to make the playoffs at all.
Yeah, I hate the Dolphins. So
can you?
I don't think they do though. I think they win. I think they finish 8 wins.
If the Dolphins make the playoffs, can you imagine how the mouth on their fans like, oh, we only didn't get the top seed because
absolutely.
was out.
But going on their schedule, Mikey, I only really have them going winning 8 games. So if you go and look, they got
they're gonna be 8-9.
Yeah, because they got
8-9's not gonna do it.
They got New England here. I think they can win that game at home. I see them losing to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
They got the Jets twice. I think the Jets can, believe it or not, I think the Jets will split that series. I think Jets get 1 game on them. I think they lose at Houston. They're home against San Francisco, and if San Francisco's healthy by then, I think they lose that game. And then they got at Cleveland in fucking January in shitty weather. And by the way, the last game of the season at the Jets, who aren't going to be playing for anything, is the game I see them losing. So right there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 losses right there. And the Patriots could sneak and get a win.
Yep.
So
Spence comes in says, but I like beating the Dolphins 3 times in a season. I like beating the Dolphins 3 times in a season too. But wouldn't it be better if they just couldn't even make the playoffs?
I don't, like I said, I don't see it happening. I got them 8 wins. Yeah, 7, 8 wins. I just don't see it happening. Yeah. What do they got? 4 wins right now. So they got, what are they? 4 and 6, right?
Yes.
So they beat New England. They're 5 and 6. They lose against Green Bay. 5 and 7. They split the series. Yeah,
they do always fade in December too.
Yeah, bro. I got 7, 8 wins, bro. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. Because if they get in, their fans are gonna be like, "Oh, we're the team."
Oh, absolutely, playoffs, absolutely. They'd have to. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. They'd have to go. They're gonna have to go on a heater, and they're gonna have to hope either the Chargers or the Broncos fall. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. And I don't see it happening, man. I hate
the Dolphins fan base. So delusional. Remember the Jets fans were talking all kinds of crap early this year.
Jets and both of them. Of them. They both thought they were going to run the show.
I haven't heard from in a few years. The Patriots.
No,
they went awfully quiet.
Yeah, because they understand where they're at. At least I think they understand what's going on, right? Yeah. They're not.
I'm just saying they've been awfully quiet.
They also didn't go all out for. Like their GM didn't go and make a trade and for a 40-year-old quarterback and did all this craziness that backfired. Great. They know the deal. It's going to take a while.
Dolphins fans or Cowboys fans?
I don't have a problem with Cowboys fans. There's a lot of them. I really don't. They don't bother me.
Dolphins fans are delusional. Jets fans are just annoying. That's because all the Pats fans are rooting for KC now.
You think there's a lot of bandwagon Patriot fans? I'll be honest with you. I haven't met many Patriot fans, so I can't say that. You know what I mean? Like at least around where I live, I don't come across many Patriot fans.
Yeah. I used to see Patriot hats everywhere out here, and you don't see them anywhere anymore.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Okay, so then those are probably your bandwagon, especially if you don't see them anymore. Now you see
more Chiefs stuff out here.
Dude, I was rocking my Bills gear when we were terrible.
Me too.
I didn't give a shit.
And I would randomly run into a Bills fan, go Bills.
Right. I was rocking the hell out of my Marshawn Lynch jersey back in the day.
I've always
and you know what? At least at that time, it's so funny because for as bad as we were, at least I always could be like, yeah, beast mode, baby. There was always
Right?
a player that
Gave us
we had something. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
So let's get through this little game we have of putting, potential coaches' places. Where do you think Belichick ends up? If New York's going to keep Dabes, does he end up with the Jags? Does he end up in Chicago?
The Jets for sure. He ain't going to Jets. Just
Nope.
You might as well scratch that one.
They're talking about the Jags because he has a working relationship with their GM.
Okay.
They talked about Chicago because they're gonna, he has a really good defense and a young offensive core.
And a young quarterback. Yeah.
Yep. They talked about Vegas because of Brady.
Possibly. Okay, I see that.
But those are like the main ones. I mean, I could see him going to
What about Cowboys?
Cincinnati. I cannot see him working for Jerry Jones.
I think him and Jerry would clash big time.
Me too. Because wherever he goes, he's going to want control.
Yeah, that would be not good.
I can see him going to Cincinnati if that job opened and have Burrow in them, and then he would just fix the defense.
Yeah. I still think New York Giants would be ideal.
Yeah, I think the Giants would be ideal too. I think he's going to end up probably in Jacksonville, though.
That's a good spot. Good spot.
Yeah.
Florida, good place for him, right? Yeah. I can see that.
We got to put him in. We'll put Belichick in Jacksonville. Belly.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you think? The other defensive guy. I just went blank on his name. Jesus.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
For the
Tennessee, old head coach Vrabel.
Oh, Mike Vrabel. Man,
where do you think Vrabel ends up?
I forgot about Vrabel. Oh man, I like him a lot, bro. He's a good coach, bro.
I can see Vrabel actually in Chicago.
That would be a good. Yeah, that'd be a good landing gig for him. Tough nose coach.
Triggs, you think he ends up with the Jets? Vrabel with the Jets? I can't see that. Vrabel and Aaron would probably get in a fight.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. The way the owner is right now, and the way that Belichick kind of was like, bro, this guy's just looking to fire, like firing order, pecking order, like whatever he said, like basically throwing the and the way he handled everything this year by firing the coach, firing the GM early. Bro, it would be, if I'm a head coach, like
I'm not wanting to go there.
I am not, like, dude. I am not like I'm talking about an established coach. Now I could see an OC going there, DC, guy that has
not
just
to
get a
high
gig.
profile ones.
That's what I'm saying. Not a high, right? Like, dude, that is
You know who I can see going there?
Not
Mike
good.
McCarthy. He has a relationship with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. You're right.
When he leaves Dallas,
if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back, I don't know if he comes back, bro. I really don't.
I
get where you're going.
The mess on those books are going to be. It's going to be a few years before they can rebuild. Scott Belichick's not going to the Jets. We have Belichick going to the Jags. So where does Vrabel end up? Tampa Bay. New Orleans, Chicago, Dallas.
I think Chicago. I think you're right on Chicago. I think Chicago would be a good fit for him.
Okay, we have Vrabel in Chicago. I really think in New Orleans it's going to be Aaron Glenn, the defense coordinator for.
Yeah.
For
I can see that.
So I'm going to put Glenn there. So let's do this. Where does Ben Johnson end up? Does he end up in Dallas? Does he end up in Tampa Bay? Does he?
He is going to be he'll be probably
Cleveland?
one of the hottest. Yeah, he's going to be the hottest name out there.
Ben Johnson end up in Cincinnati if they can him, and not Joe Brady.
Very possible. Listen, man. Yeah, I'd take Ben Johnson over Joe Brady.
Triggs thinks Chicago. I can see Ben Johnson going to Chicago with Caleb.
He's offensive. I don't know, man.
Like they have a good defense already. They need an offensive guy coming in there.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know, man. That's a great question. Ben Johnson, though, to the Bengals, like you said, with the weapons they got there, you already have your quarterback established. Like he could probably dial it up, boy. Who do they got on running back right now? Who's in Cincinnati?
Chase Brown.
Zach Moss and Chase Brown, right?
It's Chase Brown. He's the RB1.
Zach's done, right? Zach Moss is done. Yeah, and he was fumbling and shit,
we'll
right?
put him in Cincinnati. I think he could end up in Chicago too. I do, like Trig says. I could see him going to Chicago as well. Because I can see Vrabel fitting a lot of teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see Vrabel going to Dallas and doing fine.
Dallas would be interesting. But once again, when he butt heads with Jerry Jones,
he doesn't want full control.
Okay. All right.
You know, problem with the Bears is they're set for the defensive-minded head coaches. And the Triggs, and that's why I said I thought Vrabel would go there. It's because they love their defensive coaches.
I will say this, though, about Jerry Jones in Dallas. He sticks with coaches a while.
Yeah.
So if you do go there, you probably have a job for a little bit. Like if things don't go right for the first couple of years. You know what I mean? Like he stuck with Garrett a while, stuck with McCarthy a while.
How do you see this going, Scott, where Ben Johnson's up in Buffalo?
No, that ain't happening, bro.
Okay. So we have Ben Johnson in Cincinnati.
I would wish.
You know, do you think Pete Carroll gets a job?
Pete, he's old, bro.
I know, but do you think he gets a job?
Maybe. I don't know. That's a tough one. Tampa Bay, if they let their coach go, could he go to Tampa Bay? Pete Carroll? Just throwing that out there. Like that might be a decent fit for him.
I can see Pete fitting with Dallas.
Pete Carroll in Dallas.
Like his fun-loving, just want to coach attitude.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
I could see him in Dallas.
It's tough, man. There's good destinations. Dallas will be a hot one.
We can skip Carroll. So let's talk about Slovis, the Texans offense coordinator. Where does he end up?
I don't know. What do you think the hottest? What do you think the hottest job is available? How about that? Like, where do you think like a coach is like all the coaches they would want to go?
If Cincinnati is open, I think Cincinnati's the best job.
The hottest spot right now.
Chase and all those guys. I think that's one of the best jobs.
I think Dallas is up there too, man.
Dallas has a bunch of dead money issues. They have cap issues.
I know, but they got players in place, bro. They got some.
Not really.
They got some
because they haven't paid Micah yet.
CeeDee Lamb and
they've CeeDee Lamb and Dak.
I get it, but and you're in Dallas, man. Like Dallas is still.
But if you don't win, you're gone.
Not really. I just said I think Jerry Jones. If you look at the track history of coaches,
they also won 12 games a year.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
right. So what makes you think the next coach?
Cap hell. That's what.
They're in cap hell. Yeah. Well, Jerry Jones has to figure that shit out. I'm sure whatever coach comes in, he would say, "Hey, I'm doing it." I'm sure Jerry Jones would have a plan. No, I mean he is the GM, right? And now has Jerry Jones lost his ways? Possibly. I don't know.
After the season, I don't think he'll get a head coach job. Yeah, we'll see. Could Dion? They're saying Dion could be in Dallas.
God, can you imagine Dion? Maybe.
Yeah. Michael Irvin wants Dion in Dallas. Yeah.
God.
Just have
Marv Levy, 100 years old. I'm coming back.
Here's the thing. I don't like. I'm looking here. The best jobs that are open really are Chicago because they have like all the pieces there. They just need good leadership there. Cincinnati, if it opens, is a really good one.
Yeah.
I think the Jags, they're just underperforming. They have a lot of really good players.
They do too. Yeah, they got some talent.
Those are like the three like really good ones. If Miami actually opens up, that's a really good job too to have.
It's it is. But I wonder what they do with the GM there. I think they keep him because somehow Greer and
I don't think
they need work done. They need work too. I think they're going to wind up cutting some players too. Chubb's gone. I think Chubb's gone after the season. They're going to wind up cutting him. The whole Tua situation is funky over there. Just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? Coach going to have to whatever. Let's say they get rid of Mike McDaniel. Whatever coach going to Miami has a lot of thinking to do.
To build an offense around Tua.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
or does he even? Does he? Right. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. It's an interesting job right there.
Yeah, it is. But those are probably my big ones. So going back to my thing, do you think Joe Brady gets a job this offseason?
I think he gets offers, a few more than he did last year for sure.
Do you think he leaves?
But I think it would be a mistake. I'll be honest with you. Look, I told you earlier, every OCDC, their main goal is always to become a head coach. Like most of them want, that's their dream. That's what they are in this for. But I think it would be a mistake for Joe Brady. I think Joe Brady should. Yeah, I think Joe Brady should stick it out one more year. Now, look, I will say this: if he wins the Super Bowl this year, he kind of accomplished that, and then he's gone. If he doesn't, and he is like, you know what, I want to run it back and get this with Allen, right? And let's do it one more year. What Ben Johnson did with Detroit, right. Absolutely, and it put a stamp on my name.
It wasn't just Ben Johnson, because Aaron Glenn also did the same thing.
Aaron Glenn, right? Absolutely,
they both came back because they wanted to.
They wanted to finish it exactly. So does he do that? You know what I mean? If we don't get the job done this year, I think that would be the smart play. Then you get more offers, better offers, bigger offers. So I would think it would be a mistake on his part. But yeah, I mean, would he pass one up if it's an opportunity? Probably not. If it's a good opportunity.
Hard to pass up a head coaching job.
A head coaching job. That's what I'm saying. Right. Right. So, absolutely.
Fabio's overpaid tenfold. Jags rebuild for 5 years still. Fabio, that's great.
The verdict's still out on him. I don't know how to think about
Kubiak.
Him.
Yeah,
Lawrence.
Kubiak.
I'm not sure.
Kubiak. He's becoming a hot name.
Gary Kubiak.
I mean, no, it's his kid.
Oh, Gary Kubiak's son? I didn't even know that.
I believe he's the OC in New Orleans right now.
Okay.
I mean, he could get the New Orleans job.
Right, like a promotion.
He wasn't even the intern head coach.
Then he probably won't.
Yeah. I think he's still a year or two away from getting head coaching offers. But he put his name on the map this year as an OC.
Okay.
Jets and Jaguars owners share one thing in common. They both said this was the best roster they've ever had. Roster-wise, they may not be wrong. It just didn't go well. They collected talent, not a team.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
What's your so I know we're about to get out of here because you know what, Mikey?
You better wrap it up.
Yeah, it's about that time. It's Prison Mike. It's about that time. So Bills Mafia, and then I'll actually ask you first. What's your plans for this bye week? No Buffalo Bills football.
Lots of red zone.
That's a red
I'll probably
Prison Mike.
Yep. I'll probably spend the day watching red zone. Maybe taking a nap.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna get a pizza, right? A game day pizza. Get a pie. I'm gonna get my recliner, my lazy boy, hit it on out, and I'll probably wind up, definitely red zone. Love red zone, Mikey. And I'll wind up probably snoozing at like 4. Pass out. Wake up for the night game at 8 something. Right?
Yeah.
Pay attention to my fantasy football.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
But that's
I work next week 3 days. I'm off 2 days. But then I'm off.
That's right. Thanksgiving.
Duh. Yeah. So really, I'm off from Thanksgiving through the December 9th because I took some time off. So I'm like, I'm gonna have like 11 or 12 straight days off. It's gonna be kind of nice.
Nice, man.
I just gotta get the next 3 days.
Bills Mafia, man. Have yourself an awesome weekend. Tomorrow, though, we do have some shows.
Yes, we do.
Tomorrow will be Fantasy Kingdom at 2 p.m. And Howie's Hot Pepper Challenge is back, correct?
I don't know.
It hasn't. We don't know. All right, so that one's up in the air. I don't. Who knows? That we'll find out. Right? We'll find out.
Come join. Find out.
Right. Ooh. So that's it's at 2 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, AFC East Shakedown is on Curtis's channel. Ace per head. Okay. You got to go there to see it. It's at 4 o'clock. Curtis is hosting this weekend. You don't want to miss that because Anthony is going to be on, who covers the Jets. And boy, I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about the recent firing of the GM and what came out on Aaron Rodgers and the owner. So that's going to be an interesting AFC shakedown for sure. And the loss they suffered over the weekend, they're terrible. So that's at 4:00, and then there is no pregame this weekend because there is no game, no post game. There's no post game, and me and Mikey will be back Monday at 9 p.m. So thank you guys. Any last things out there you want to answer?
No, just go Bills.
Go Bills, man. We appreciate you guys, man. Rocking with us. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here. Peace.
Mm-hmm.